Picture this. You're an American teenager and you work every day of your life. Long hours are common and you never get to rest. As you sit in your workplace, you watch as all the other workers scramble to get as much done as they can within the allotted time. The more you work, the better the outcome you receive. There's no AC, there's no heat, only sweat and shivering. You begin to look around and see the bleak walls and dim lights. Your whole life revolves around this space. That is until you hear the bell, indicating the movement to the next room. Yet, all the rooms look the same. All working according to a ticking clock within the room, ticking away the lives within. Many of you may have imagined being in a factory during the Industrial Revolution, but you're very wrong. You're a high school student living in 2017. If you are astonished by how close the modern-day school system is to a 19th century factory, then you should be. The modern-day school system was actually created for the purpose of teaching the youth to work in a factory. The factory-style school system, or Persian model, was introduced to America by Horace Mann in 1840. The Persian model grouped students by age and gave them a fixed amount of time to learn a fixed amount of material. The Persian model did indeed work at the time because it produced the strongest industrial countries, not just America, but Germany as well. In 1892, the head of Harvard held a committee of 10 other officials to reform the school system even more. They planned out what grades would get taught what subjects to keep it more organized. The factory model was kept intact so students had factory work to fall back on. As said by edX CEO Arne Argwal in 2015, it is pathetic that the educational system has not changed in hundreds of years. As a modern-day student, I can attest to the fact that the school days are way too long to keep a healthy mind and body. To be a well-rounded student, we are required to receive good grades, play a sport, participate in a club, have good attendance, and keep a positive attitude. So let's run the numbers. A well-rounded student's school day is 6 to 7 hours long. They may have 2-hour athletic practice, an hour and a half club meeting, and then go home to their workload. Oftentimes, homework can take 4+ hours with honors classes, so on top of a full school day, many students are required to do 7.5 hours of additional work. To be healthy, a teenager's brain requires 10 hours of sleep. All of those hours combined are 24.5 hours, but a single day is only 24 hours. This doesn't even include the time to eat, travel, shower, keep up with social life, maintain a job, or simply give your mind a break. We should also take into account that the average human brain doesn't even wake up until 10 a.m., so we are not getting its full potential to succeed. With all of the stress we put onto our students, they are not required to sustain a stable mental health. I can attest to the fact that it is very common to experience mental breakdowns. Depression as well as anxiety runs rampant in American high school students and often follows them into the future. In fact, over 44,000 Americans die each year as a result of suicide. For every suicide there is 25 attempts. So altogether there's 1.1 million attempts. Also, as the years increase, so do the numbers. This number doesn't even include the amount of people struggling with suicidal thoughts, depression, anxiety, drinking, and/or drug problems our country has. Some may argue that it is our country's capitalistic way of thinking that causes an increase of mental health problems, yet our way of thinking all starts in the youth or educational years. Although the school system does teach our generation how to earn skills that are practiced in adult years, they are very difficult to work into honor students' schedules due to the time constraints. Without taking these classes, it can lead to added stress for students in the future. Our problems as a society begin at the schooling level. The educational system molds our minds to be all the same. If we were able to pick our classes at least the high school level, we would be able to proliferate exponentially at the skills we know we are good at. Yes, I believe we do need basic understanding and have some fundamental of math, reading, writing, and have some historical knowledge. However, I also believe this can be achieved before high school years. If students are forced to take advanced classes that they do not succeed at, they become highly stressed over something they will never need in their future lives. Being forced to take all the same classes is toxic because if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it's dumb. The school system dooms many students to a lifetime of feeling incapable of meeting society's expectations. If we had more freedom, our educational experience would be much more rewarding and students would want to learn. Although reforming the educational system would not help society right away, it would help over time. When we start changing the way people think at a younger age, we will create a better society, filled with more diversity and less mental health issues. If we stop working our youth as if they are in a factory, then my hope is our mental health as a society will improve.